Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, day 7. You guys, we are a week into our 21 days of prayer for our business. Can you believe it? We are a third of the way through. We only have 2 more weeks left. You guys are doing this. I am so thrilled to have you guys join me each and every morning. It really makes my morning. It starts my day off awesome. And just spending time with the Lord, with you all here, is just something that a month ago I never could have imagined. And I'm just so blessed to be able to be in this group with all of you and be doing this study together. So how are you guys doing? Are you hanging in there? Are you guys hanging in there every day, getting your homework done, whether you have the book or whether you're doing the walk it out that I'm posting in the group? I hope that you guys are able to find the time in your day to carve that space out and really just rest in his presence and focus on your relationship with him and how he can move in your life and in your business. So good morning, Carol, Veronica, Debbie, Cora, and Mary. Thank you all for joining in. Good morning, Mary. So today's day, it's don't give up. It goes back to, I'm going to say that quote again, do or do not, there is no try. Don't give up. Let's see. Debbie says, listening and watching, taking my time with the book, staying focused. Awesome. Good morning, Debbie. Chris says, getting the reading done, need to work more on the homework. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You will get there. Carol says, good morning. Looking forward to it each day. I am too. You guys, I'll tell you what, it's getting easier and easier for me to get up in the morning. And this morning I had to get up just a little bit earlier. Today is Jason's last day of work at his current company, and he had to get up early this morning to go into work. He is in IT. He takes care of all of their computers and everything, and they have to take the server down. If anybody knows anything about IT stuff, they need to take the server down at some point today and load it on the truck that is going to be heading and taking everything to Miami, where the corporation is headquartered, where they're moving the operations to. So he had to go in very early this morning because it is a web order-based company. The orders come in through the web, and they need to fulfill those orders, but they need to have access to the website and the computers and so forth. So he had to go in very early this morning and take care of a lot of web issue stuff before he can start taking the server down around probably 11, 12 o'clock today. So because he had to go in, I had to get up and take Matthew and Ashley to school this morning. So I had to get out there in the cold, and oh my gosh, my car was frozen over with ice, and it was only 20 degrees here. It is so cold. It makes me miss Florida. But anyways, so we're going to get into today of don't give up. And I am so excited about today's topic because even though this topic can be very hard for people, we've kind of been talking a little bit about how things that have happened in your past can paralyze you. Well, not only that, but maybe it's something that you're going through right now. Or if you've ever experienced that before, you can understand just how paralyzing that can be. And in this chapter, Monique shares a very personal story of her own. That is the bulk of this chapter. I'm not going to necessarily get into all of it. I know that a lot of you have the book and some of you don't have the book. If you don't have the book and you want to know what it is, let me know, and I can take pictures of it and message that to you. So just let me know about that. But we're going to talk about how when we go through hard times, we just need to keep on keeping on. We can't give up, because if we give up, everything falls apart. And the only way that we can get through those tough times is our faith. Our faith holds us up. So at the beginning of the chapter here, she says, if you quit, you will never know what could have been right around the corner. If you quit, you never know what could have been right around the corner. And that is so true. Just a small little example of something like this. In my line of business, there are times when I go to large events and have like a table for my company set up. And there's usually a certain time frame for the event, from say 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or, whatever it happens to be. And I say that it's so important to stay to the very end. Even if it's been dead the whole time, nobody around you, you're not getting any business, nothing's happening, you never know what could walk through that door the last 5 minutes of the event. It could be your next sale. It could be your next, if you're in direct sales, booking. It could be your next new team member. You have no idea what is going to happen. And if you pack up and leave early, you're never going to know, right? They say you don't receive because you don't ask. And I think that that's so important. If we don't try, if we don't keep working at it, if we just give up, then we're never going to know what happened. So part of Monique's story in here that she shares is how she nearly got to the point where she had to give up on her dreams of her own business. I don't know how much you guys all have read, and I can't remember exactly what I've shared, but she started in the beginning of this, in the introduction, she shares how she and her husband started a scrapbook store in 2004, I think it was. 4 years later, people were asking for a second location. They felt like they, the world was their oyster. They went ahead and they opened up another store. And when they did that, everything crashed. They lost everything, $800,000 worth, including their home. And then Monique she was a nurse. She had gone to school for nursing. But when she finished nursing school, she said, I don't want to be a nurse. What am I doing? I faint at the sight of blood. So because this business failed, she had to go back to nursing because she had to have money coming in for her family. And so she went back to nursing, but she was absolutely miserable. And just knew that that's not where she should be. That's not where God wanted her to be. And so she and her husband did these 21 days of prayer. They started a new business, a business venture that came her way. She said she would never, ever do, but she ended up doing it. And they did this 21 days of prayer. And the business started to grow. But it wasn't where it needed to be yet. And they got to the point where they were living paycheck to paycheck. And I don't know if you guys have all experienced that, where there is more month at the end of your money, right? Not more money at the end of your month. I know I've been there most of my life, and it's really hard, guys. It's really hard to know that all of the responsibilities that we have, financial obligations, and when the money's not coming in, then that is, that's an issue. And so how are we going to fix that? So Monique was in bed one morning, and she just literally broke down sobbing and crying because she knew that her small little paycheck from her business wasn't cutting it, and did not she thought that she was going to have to go back to nursing and do something that she knows that she wasn't supposed to be there. She knows that that's not where God wanted her, but they needed the money. So she was grieving. She was grieving the loss of her dream. And I don't know if you guys have done that, if you've been in that spot before. I have. I shared a couple days back about how I didn't know what to do with my business. My husband was telling me that we needed more money coming in, and he wanted me to go out and get a job, a real job, not direct sales. And I knew in my heart that that's not where God wanted me. And I didn't know what to do because I knew the reality of it, but I also knew that, you know, I knew what would happen if I made that choice. I knew that our lives would completely change, and not necessarily for the better. And I made a comment to my husband, and I said, just because there's more money coming in doesn't make things better. So I took it to God. I took it to friends. I took it to my friend Jackie, as I shared. And Monique, she reached out to her friends. She cried out to them, I need help. I need prayer. Please cover me in prayer. And they did. And as soon as they started praying for her, she felt this weight lifted off of her. And guys, when I was reading her story, it was very similar to mine, where, you know, Jackie prayed for me, and then I got in the car and I prayed to God and I cried out to him, asking him for direction. And he gave me those 3 songs. If you missed before, you can go back and listen. But the 3 songs were Work From Home, House Party, and Homegrown. It could not be any clearer, right, where God wanted me, and that he was going to sustain me and see me through and see our family through. And I'm not saying that this should be everybody's choice. People go through hard times, and, you know, if you're going to lose your home, if you are on the verge of bankruptcy, you know, you need to do what you need to do to take care of your family. And just because, you know, if Monique had to go back to nursing, just because if you have to make a choice of something that you shouldn't, you know, be in that spot or that job or whatever it happens to be, doesn't mean that it's not just for a short season, and that you could go back to the dream that you have and to the plans that God has for you. Regardless of your choice, God will see you through, and he will carry you. I promise you that. There was another time in my life several years ago that I felt like I had hit rock bottom, bad spot in my life. And I was just, I don't know how, I couldn't even believe I could still cry. That's how many tears I had falling over the course of that time. And I got to the point where the only thing that I could do was let God carry me. I couldn't carry myself. I didn't have the strength to do it. I could barely function through the day. My children had no idea what was wrong with me. And it was a very hard time. And I did the only thing I could think of. I turned to God because nothing else around me was working. And he held me the entire time, guys, until I was able to get up out of that pit of despair. And looking back now, our God is just such a wonderful, wonderful, loving, caring Father. And guys, if you're going through something right now, reach out to him. Reach out to your Christian friends around you and ask for them to lift you up. Ask for their support. Don't give up. That's the most important thing. Don't give up. The worst thing that you can do is give up. Just have faith. Faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains, right? Remember the woman in the Bible where she just touches the hem of Jesus' garment and has the faith that what is ailing her will leave her. And just the touch of his garment and the faith that he will heal her, it's gone. That's all we need, guys. You know how small a mustard seed is? It's like microscopic end of the tip of a pen. That is how small a mustard seed is. Like, you can't even see it. That's how small. And it can move mountains. Having faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. And I also want you guys to know, sometimes just because we want a mountain to move doesn't mean it's going to move. God has a plan, though. And if he's not going to move that mountain, he wants you to go around it or go over it or go through it. Because he is going to make you better when you get to the other side. Better than you ever could have imagined. So our memory verse today, we have two of them. The first one is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So there's that word again, faith, right? It is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You can't see faith. You can't hold faith. You can't touch faith. You just have to have faith, right? It's a great verse. So even though, this is Monique talking, even though I couldn't see what was around the corner, I had faith that the Lord was going to work it out. And another part of this she gets into here in the next paragraph is that enemy, that devil again, he comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So when things are going good, when you are doing the Lord's work and you are like this with the Lord, watch out, because he's going to come after you. He doesn't like that. And he wants to get in between the two of you. He wants to whisper in that ear and pull you away. If you feel yourself getting distracted from spending time with the Lord, if you feel yourself pulling away and saying, oh, I'll do it later. I'll get to that later. This is more important right now. That's the enemy, and you need to fight him. Fight him with your arsenal, the armor of God. Go back to, what was it, day 2 or day 3 that we talked about the armor of God. So she says the enemy is freaking out, right? There is nothing the enemy wants more than to keep you from moving forward. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. He wants to kill your dreams. He wants to steal your peace. He wants to steal your destiny. In Jesus' name, that is not going to happen. So if you guys have seen War Room, or if you haven't seen War Room, there is a scene in there where Priscilla Schreier goes around her house and she declares that this house is the Lord's house and that the enemy is not welcome. I have that video clip that is going to pop up in the group here around 9:15 a.m. this morning Eastern Standard Time. So watch that clip. It is powerful. And I highly suggest you do the same thing. Walk around your house, spread the blood of Jesus over every single doorway. Tell Satan he does not live here, he is not welcome here, and he can get back to hell where he came from. So watch that clip. It's fun. So she finishes up her story here, and then she goes into her prayer. But before we get to that, I also want to go over the second memory verse today, which is Romans chapter 8, verse 37. Know in all these things that we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. Know in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. We are more than conquerors. We are already victorious, you guys. Even before the victory comes, we are victorious. God gives us that power, right? We get that through Jesus, who died on that cross for us. Little baby Jesus, going to be born here in just a few days. Oh, man, I am so excited for Christmas this year, guys. I really am. I think it's going to be, I know it's going to be, I know it's going to be great. And it is all for his glory that we get to spend this time together with our families and come in adoration of him. So that's our second memory verse today. I'll have those posted for you also. So she has a prayer here, but then after the prayer, she has this assignment. I'm going to go over this before we say our prayer and close out today. because I think that this is very, very important. It's an important step in this process of giving it all to God, of forgetting our, leaving our past in the past, right? And knowing that we are uniquely made, catching that vision. The days that we've been going through here, I go back and I look and I reread over my notes, and I'm just amazed at just how my life is pouring out onto these pages and how it's changing me, guys. So, day 5, we're being intentional. We're here every single day. We're doing this. And then yesterday we talked about always growing. I loved yesterday. Yesterday was an awesome day. So she has this assignment for us. So I'm going to just read what she asks of us. And so for those of you that don't have the book, listen up to this part, okay? I have a little assignment for you before we part ways. Think about why you are so passionate about the path that you are pursuing. Why are you devoting this time to prayer for your business? Do you have a God vision? Do you have dreams? What is it that is pulling at your heartstrings? I would like you to write a letter to yourself encouraging you to never give up. You heard me right. Don't laugh. There may be a point in your life that is your February 15th. That's the date that she referred to in her story. A time when you are at a crossroads and have to decide if you throw in the towel or if you keep pushing forward. Talk yourself off the ledge. Remind yourself why you are walking this path. I pray that if the time ever comes in your life, this letter will encourage you to keep on keeping on. Now, get to writing, please. So she's asking us to write this letter to ourselves, and I think that this is a wonderful gift that we can give ourselves, and I really encourage you guys to take the time today to do that. Just write yourself an encouraging letter. If you are ever in a pit of despair and you need to be pulled up, write that letter to encourage yourself to get up out of that pit. Have faith that God is there with you and he is going to see you through. All right, so let's close it out in prayer, and then I will go over our walk it out steps. Okay, Jesus, we love you very much. We want nothing more than to walk in your daily presence. We seek after you. We draw near to you, Lord. I am confident that you have a hope and a future for all of my friends reading this today or listening. I may not know their story, but you are aware of their story. I pray you give them God dreams, dreams birthed from you. I pray you give them vision. I pray that they know that they know that they know when they hear from you. God, give them a perfect peace when they are walking in the path you have set out for them. When the enemy comes to kill their dreams, steal their peace, and destroy their destiny, help them stand strong. Giving up will not be there in their vocabulary. Giving up is not Giving up is not the plan you have set out for them. They will not fall prey to giving up. I pray you place friends in their lives that will encourage them to keep on keeping on. When times get hard, remind them to run to you. When they feel like throwing in the towel, bring verses from your word to their hearts and minds. I thank you for what you are doing in each and every life. I thank you for what you are going to continue to do. We will run this race to completion. I know you are raising up world changers, and I thank you for what you are going to do in and through their lives. Be with my friends today, Jesus, as they go about their day. I pray they experience your perfect peace wherever they are wherever they are at on this journey of life. We love you, Jesus. Amen. I love her prayers. I know I say that every time, but her prayers are just awesome. She just hits every point. And I know that Jesus is listening to us, guys. He hears us. Okay, so our walk it out today. Number 1, take a picture of the letter you wrote today and save it on your phone. You never know when you might need to read over it. Or if you don't have space on your phone, here's a little tip. Save it to Facebook in an album. Make the album's privacy setting for only you. So it'll always be there. You can always go look at it and nobody else will ever see it. Number 2, if you are currently walking through a hard time, find someone to talk to. Don't forget to take your worries and concerns to the Lord. It is so important to come together in communion with other Christians when we are going through hard times and having them pray for us or praying for them as well. Number 3, find someone you know is struggling and tell them never give up. So I'm going to tell all of you right now, never give up. You can do this. With the Lord, you can do this. Don't give up. And finally, number 4, memorize and meditate on Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 and Romans chapter 8, verse 37. So today is a good day. It's Friday, guys. The weekend is here. I will still be up with you bright and early tomorrow morning and Sunday morning. I can't wait to spend the weekend mornings with you guys. Oh, I wanted to show you something. So my coffee this morning, I made purposely in this particular cup because I wanted to share it all with you. Do you see what it says? It says, let me try it the right way, joy. So when we are walking through these hard times, when we're discouraged and things are hard, choose joy. Choose faith in God and say, you know what? All right, we're done with this negativity. It's over with. I choose joy. I choose joy in my life every single day. Lord, fill me with your joy. And so I know we did our 2 worship songs this morning, but I have another worship song for you guys to listen to coming up. I think it's coming at 8:50. I've scheduled the post for. And it is for King and Country's song, their new song called Joy. And it is a jam song. I have this on my Spotify playlist for when I go work out and I go run. I have this song on there, and man, it gets me moving and pumping. So if you guys need any encouragement, listen to that song. I watched the video to it, the YouTube video for that song. I have to say it's a little strange. In the beginning, you're like, what? Huh? What's going on with this? But when you get to the very end, it makes sense. So just, if you don't care for the video, just close your eyes and listen to the music. But it is an awesome song. So a couple little bonuses for you guys today. The Joy song at 8:50 and the little clip from the War Room movie at 9:15 today. So you guys have a great Friday. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here with me. And I will see you tomorrow morning. All right. Goodbye.